I remember standing in the cell with a tank full of women standing there just like, what have I done? Perfectly visioning an alcoholic death where I'm going to be that homeless person. I'm going to die that miserable, slow death, like just from the last few years of my drinking. Like I would drink to oblivion to the point where I would hope that I wouldn't wake up. I just had like this unrealistic expectation that I had to get everything right in life. And like nothing that I ever did just within myself, like wasn't good enough. Not having that self-love, I honestly think, where like I know that I deserve better, maybe I should like start doing better. I genuinely think that that little aha moment that I had in jail was like a God shot, because I could see like one path my way, like it's just miserable and dark, and then another path that was just like pure light.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Journey to Solutions podcast, where we interview people from all walks of life who've overcome the impossible. We shine light on one simple truth: no matter your past, no matter your pain, with the power of God, anything is possible. And today we have a very special guest. She is a personal trainer. She has 8 years of sobriety. She speaks very highly, and I truly believe this, on the idea of it's okay to take medication for your mental health. See, a lot of people try to talk down on that, like they're doctors in the rooms, and they shouldn't do that, because some of us need it, and there's nothing wrong with that. And she's proof that you can take that medication, you can take care of your mental health, and you can still have a solid recovery. She's an amazing person, and she cares about the people, and she has a very powerful testimony that I'm excited to share with you guys. So I want to introduce Jacquelin Rojas.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's cool too, because this is our first time meeting in person.
Yeah.
And sometimes you see a person from our Instagram story, a Facebook post, and you don't know if they're going to be someone who's easy to talk to, down to earth or whatever, but you just seem like you have such a safe, cool energy about you.
Yeah, I'm come a long way with that, in the sense I used to kind of be a little introvert, had a stutter growing up.
Really? Okay.
Speech impediment, dyslexia, and I think it was a little related to my first language being Spanish.
Oh, so your first language is Spanish?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I started learning English with a very heavy accent. And so I ended up having to get another year in first grade to really develop my English. And from that, pretty much really diving into books and kind of reading a lot about just life through books and getting to know people and like reading body language and all that. I kind of like can navigate a little bit easier with being a little bit more approachable, not as confrontational, or like being more softer in that sense with body cues and all that.
Yeah, what is that like for when you can remember being younger? Because not everybody that lives here didn't speak English as a first language, but a lot of people are like that. Like, what is that like when you come here? Your first language is Spanish. Like, what is that like as a kid? Are you getting picked on? Is it difficult? Are you reading into things incorrectly? Are you coming off incorrect? Like what does that look like?
Yeah, I definitely, like I was bullied and teased a lot, like when speaking. So for a while, like I wouldn't really like talk to a lot of the kids my age. If anything, I was really more comfortable with the adults and like the teachers' aides and all that. Really kind of dove into my academics that way, because like I was a little bit bigger than the kids, obviously, from being held back. And so then that kind of made me a target. And with all the early like teasing and being picked on, like I just didn't really trust kids my own age, and really
How'd that make you feel about kids or people like being picked on? Because not everybody gets picked on. Some people don't know about that, and back in the 90s, right, there wasn't smartphones, there wasn't this whole we're all feeling and talking about our emotions.
No, it was more of like suit up, like you better like tough it out, or like somehow not get in trouble if like you set the boundaries. But with me, it was more of, if I did something to like kind of set those boundaries, like obviously I would go back home and like they would get the phone call. And like being raised in a Latino home, like we know not to act out in school and like respect the rules and stuff, or else like we're gonna get disciplined. And so I learned really quickly like how to just kind of navigate through that. And it did affect my self-esteem in that sense, being able to put myself out there a little bit more, because I did become more introverted. Like in the 5th grade, I already started listening to Avril Lavigne, and I remember when Eminem came out and stuff, and I really started navigating through music as the sense of like finding myself and like being able to be relatable to artists.
How did you relate to like Avril Lavigne and Eminem, if you remember?
Definitely Avril Lavigne, for the fact of how she would just speak her mind, and definitely her style in the sense of being a tomboy and kind of just really owning like her persona and like her attitude and how she conducted herself. Like I really was attracted to the untraditional like dress code, I guess, growing up. Like definitely tomboy for me. I loved the baggy stuff, the t-shirts. I did also like get really involved in sports growing up, roller hockey and basketball, and I feel like those aspects like really helped with my confidence in being able to perform physically. Again, like more socializing with people, kind of not my thing growing up. And so sports and academic, where I was getting noticed more, especially with like being on the honor roll and then getting awards for being in like the sports teams. That's where I kind of saw like, oh, okay, like if I can do things very well, like that's when I get like that positive like reinforcement.
Mm-hmm. So for you, you were good at sports. Do you feel like you're able to connect to with the people, like the women in sports? Like those are like, oh, these are my people.
Yeah, definitely the attitude that comes behind that with another female being in athletics is that not trying to be more of like an exterior outlook, like being something that they're not. They're a little bit more assertive, more go-getters, and they're a little bit more real. And that's something that I also had to like navigate, which was learning which girls to trust in school. Because, I was hazed in middle school by girls really bad. And so I learned early on in my childhood not to trust men. And during my adolescence and like going through puberty and all the hormones, like being teased and pursued by girls, like I was just like, damn, like people can be kind of shitty. Yeah. And so again, at an early age, I like then started wearing like heavy clothes. I started like that emo phase, like really
the hair and all
that, like all dark. I remember in the 8th grade, I had long hair and I cut it all off and dyed it black and had the bangs and all that.
I remember middle school. That's when I was like the Killers, the Hives, the Vines, AFI.
My Chemical Romance. Rasmus.
That's funny. I remember that hair look though. I remember because I wanted that hair look. I had long hair. I was like, I want to be that hair look like this, the tight pants and all that stuff. Yeah.
They didn't have skinny jeans back then, so we would make our own with tooth floss. Yeah. We would like turn them inside out, and then like tighten them, and then stitch them. Yeah. And that's how we would make our skinny jeans. And we used to go to the swap meets and buy the band T-shirts out there because you could get the 4 for $20 out there in the Santa Fe swap meet. Yeah. And
I used to go to Bionic, which is in Fullerton.
Okay.
And Black Hole Records, but like those are like the ones. Yeah. Where and I remember I'd walk into middle school and I'm like, oh, I want all those shirts. You know?
Heck yeah. And so grew up a little bit more on the punk rock scene, especially in high school, where that really like took off, or then I was like full on like seeing emo, but by then I already had started drinking.
So what age did you start drinking?
I started drinking at the age of 15.
15.
The summer, the summer going into freshman year, and my sister was older, and so I was able to kind of get introduced to her friends and stuff, and I kind of like was always the copycat, kind of tagged along with her. It was annoying for her, as it is like with siblings and stuff. And so I remember having my first drink, and I still remember it to this day. I was 15. We were at a GameStop back when GameStop had the game systems in there, and you could actually play whatever was being released to try it out. And after we had been done playing, we obviously like shoplifted a 5th of Jack Daniels, and then we bought Coke, and my first drink was Jack Daniels with the
Wait, Coca-Cola, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I was like, damn, you bought Coke too?
No.
Yeah, first time we did, and we bought Coke, and
No. Coca-Cola.
Okay.
To like chase it
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
That was the chaser.
Yeah.
And I remember it like that warmth and ease and comfort that I got as soon as it like hit my throat and my esophagus. I could feel the warming sensation. Like it was almost like a liquid morphine, like feeling instant relaxation and like quieted my head to the point where I was like, holy shit, if like I have this, like instantly right there, I had that thought of like, if I have this, I'm fine. I can definitely like get through life now on life's terms. Like I didn't feel socially awkward. I wasn't overthinking. I wasn't kind of super hyper vigilant and like just very anxious all the time. And the only time that I wasn't anxious was when I was like paying attention in class or doing something, or I was like reading a book, and then when I was left to my own devices, like I just didn't know how to be, like that irritable discontent at a very early age. And it slowly picked up there because I had graduated 8th grade with honors, and by the end of freshman year, beginning of sophomore year, my grades had plummeted, and I went from 4.0 to like a 2.8, like failing all my classes.
And this is all because you found this peace with alcohol, and now that's kind of like your main focus.
I started partying like way too hard, and so obviously when my grades started dipping, my parents started noticing more, and that was like a huge red flag for me to be like, oh shit, now I'm like bringing some attention onto me. I better reel it back in. And I found out that I could transfer out to a continuation school and bring up my grades and possibly graduate earlier. And so I opted in for that. And it being a smaller population, like it was way easier to like handle like being there like sober and not with a bunch of other kids and stuff.
What was the school called for continuation?
It was Juniper Serra High School in San Juan Capistrano. It wasn't the private Catholic school, but the continuation one that was down the street. And luckily, by the grace of a power greater than myself, which I choose to call God, that it got accredited as a regular high school. So when I graduated, I was able to graduate a year earlier and with a high school diploma. And so that was one of the first things that like the Rojas family was able to like have, is like we like that's one of the things also about like the Latin community. It's like we want to make our families proud and not bring shame to our family. And being able to graduate with a high school diploma, like I was like, okay, cool, like I'm at least doing something right. And the whole entire time there, like I didn't drink. I maybe went to a couple parties and managed it well, like didn't like go overboard and all that. Like maybe on the actual days where it was like what was it, like the St. Patrick's Day or Cinco de Mayo, that's when I like actually like I used the holidays to really let loose. And like the recovery time would always take like a couple days. But definitely because I saw like the attention that I was getting early on in high school, I was like, okay, I got to make sure that I don't bring that type of attention.
So once you graduated high school, did you go straight to college at this point, or?
No, so I hit like a little bit of a depression after high school. I didn't really know what to do, even though I kind of graduated with a $300 scholarship. Whenever I had tried to bring up the possibilities of college to my mom and everything, because she didn't know the answers or how to navigate like resources, it would overwhelm her and she would lash out unintentionally, like looking as like, oh, like what are you gonna do, where are you gonna get the money, like can you afford that, what are you gonna do after that, like are you gonna be like overwhelming questions of like fear. And not having that type of like support of like encouragement, it did kind of make it seem no matter what I did or tried to do, like it wasn't enough. And so I kind of like that's when I put on a lot of weight at 19 years old. I had already been out of school for like a year.
And you're not working yet either?
Not yet.
So just basically, okay.
And then I was coasting at home. Like I was still the only one like staying out of trouble. I would do like I I don't know how I always had money in my pocket. I think I probably had like under the table jobs through friends. And like I got so depressed that I kind of like became almost reclusive. I wouldn't even go out. And from like high school till 19, I remember stepping on the scale and realizing that like I got to 200 pounds, and I knew that I messed up when I was getting winded after 17 flights of stairs. Like I grew up in this house and I never got winded going up those stairs. And I remember having to go to the top and catch my breath. And I was like, what am I doing?
At 19 years old too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, and I didn't want to be that, like statistic in a family where like you're already pre-exposed to diabetes, high blood pressure.
That's huge in Latin communities. You see it all the time.
Yeah.
I think we have one of the biggest obese communities.
Yeah.
In a lot
And
of cultures.
It's discouraging because then it's like you're already pre-exposed to it, or, like you feel like the odds are against you. And like, I just didn't want to be that. And also I kind of started doing like over-the-counter diet pills and stuff. Obviously not the healthiest reason, but I was just like trying to do like anything.
Yeah.
When I had finally gotten a job, I was able to meet someone there that was into mountain biking. And
because at this point, were you not working out yet at a gym? Because I knew you were into sports before, but that wasn't a lifestyle yet. Okay.
Not at all. Like I remember in middle school, I had a teacher where they had like a little gym and stuff, and learned about like how to use the equipment there.
Yeah.
But other than that, I dropped all the sports. By the time I graduated, I would go hiking and running. Like I would love track in high school, but even after like gaining the weight and stuff, like I could feel it like hurt my knees and all that. And I was like, oh no, like I don't want to do that. And meeting somebody that was into mountain biking when I got my first job at KFC, working the drive-thru.
There you go.
Like that kind of opened up a whole entire like new active lifestyle where I started mountain biking with him. And I got a mountain bike, and that cardio really helped burn off a lot. And also with back in the day, we had DVDs and Beachbody. And so those infomercials,
I remember that, like the P90X and Insanity and all that
stuff.
So
I did those. I did the Beachbody workout videos of like getting fit and tight, whatever it was. And I got Insanity. And then that's where I learned a lot of, like now that I'm a personal trainer and I instructed some classes, like I would put all the stuff that I grew up watching I did for myself out there on the classes, and then have like just workout and training programs like circled around that, where you don't really need equipment. All you need is your own body weight, and then modifying it so then you don't hurt yourself, getting through the whole entire time, rather than like giving up because you can't finish it. You can always like pause the time, catch your breath, and then play the time again when you start, and like finish it, and just finish it on your own time, rather than giving yourself a time limit. And if you don't even complete it, then it's like that's even more discouraging. And then like you start having doubts of like, oh, maybe I can't even get there yet. So I had all that knowledge kind of built up there, and then losing all the weight through mountain biking, that like opened me up to like a whole new area of like a party scene, because the person that introduced me to mountain biking, he was a bassist, and we started dating. And he had like obviously like group like practices and stuff, and actually go to shows. And like for a while there, they were going to the Whiskey Go Bar, the Vapor Room, and like all on Sunset and stuff. And by then, like I already had a problem drinking.
So at this point, you're how much weight did you lose?
From there, I went all the way down to like 136.
Okay, wow.
So I was like very skinny, no muscle mass.
Right. So you just lost the weight though.
Yeah.
But you're still drinking.
Yeah.
So did you calm down on the drinking to get to that weight, and then now it's coming back again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Definitely. Like I definitely was drinking my calories, and I don't even know how my body was able to like sustain a lot of the mountain biking and the endurance that I was putting it through. Cause I was eating semi-healthy, but not like a whole balanced meal, because I lost so much weight. I only had strength in my legs. My upper body, like was shot. Couldn't do pull-ups, couldn't do push-ups, anything to do with upper body. And losing all that weight, like I did have a lot of like loose skin. So I was doing anything and everything that I could do to tighten that up with like high antioxidant teas, anything to help with cell turnover rate. I found out about fasting, how that really helps your body like heal itself from within, and definitely utilizing the type of ingredients that you put into your body that have more health benefits that way. And also, I do want to mention that I don't know if you go to the OC fairgrounds, there's a hypnotist there. Okay. And one of the times that we went there, my mom bought like his whole videos set of like hypnotism, how to lose weight, and like nutrition. And I would fall asleep listening to the nutrition and weight management one. And I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I became obsessed with like nutrition, and to the point where I even went to school and took a nutrition class, and how mind-blowing it was that everything that I had learned up to 12th grade and graduating high school was total BS. It had to be thrown out the window, and then I actually was starting to find like the nutritional value of food, and how that is just a generic, like made up food like pyramid system that is not necessarily like overall good health eating. It's just like telling you things that like are good to eat, but if you don't know how to eat it and moderate the right ones, like it can easily be too much fat, too much sugar, too many like carbohydrates, because the way that the body works, it turns everything into like a type of glucose or glycogen. And a lot of people don't know that. And so then that's kind of like where that nutrition kind of really picked up for me, to be able to like keep the weight off, and then obviously still party hard. And it definitely affected, because I was like not eating as much. I couldn't hold my liquor as well. I noticed that. So I would already have like a whole routine on like when I was going to party. I like pre-gamed everything. Like everything was so like planned out and obsessive, like where I knew what I was going to eat, wait a certain amount of time before I take my first drink, before we get to the party, to make sure that I'm not too drunk before I get to the party, to have fun, and then I can keep drinking there moderately. Right. And then obviously after the party was over, like I still needed to make sure that I was good, and I would have more alcohol at home or like wherever we were going to go, we would always like pick up stuff to like chill out and stuff. And yeah, like I remember like not being able to envision a life without alcohol. And I started getting like court cases and criminal cases so early on. Like as soon as I turned 21, I got my my first DUI.
Oh, so you got a DUI. Okay, because so you meet this guy, you lose this weight, right? Okay, now you're obsessed with nutrition in a very, maybe toxic way, right? Let's just say. Obsessive. But now you're in this music scene, you're partying, you're drinking, and then 21, you get a DUI. Yeah. So, okay, start from there. So now you get your first DUI at 21.
And nobody knew. My whole family didn't know. The only people that knew were, at the time, my boyfriend's parents. And pretty much that family, opened up my whole entire way of, living and seeing how a functional family works, where it wasn't toxic. Like, they actually talked things out. Where I would be sitting there on the couch watching them argue, and then be waiting for somebody to flip out, or something was gonna go wrong, somebody was gonna get slapped, something was gonna happen. I'd be waiting there, and no, nothing happened. They would just talk it out, and I thought that their son had a bit of an attitude and was a little bit entitled, he needed to be maybe. Spanked to he
needs to get slapped.
Telling my mom oh wait, I'll do it later. No, you do it when you're asked the first time. And so seeing that dynamic was totally different. And it kind of their whole family, she was so welcoming, they were so welcoming me and into their family. I had a second home pretty much. Obviously, I would have Sam over. His name was Sam. I would have Sam over at my place, and then he could see how dysfunctional it was and chaotic. Yeah. And then he was like, I get anxiety being in there. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And so then, they were like, you can always come home. Come here, and you can stay here. It's not a big deal. And
it's funny how when you grow up in a chaotic family, and no family's perfect,
No.
but there still is a difference between a very dysfunctional family and a more functional family. And you see it, and it's like, yeah, what feels comfortable for us doesn't mean it's healthy for us. And then when somebody kind of steps in, they're like, dude, this is crazy. I'm like, oh, it is?
Like, yeah. To the point where, like, we wouldn't have friends over when our parents were home. They were both working class parents, so they both worked, like, work hours, like 9 to 5 or just full 8-hour shifts in the morning and stuff. And then we were left at school. We had Boys and Girls Club, my sister and I.
That, yeah.
And my cousins, they grew up on the streets. But still in Aliso Viejo. And like having that second home and that like new like culture change, I was able to be introduced to like mental health services, because when I got that DUI and I like asked them for help, like financially, because I only had so much available to be able to get my car out of impound and like pay all the fines and fees. My family had no idea that I had gotten a DUI. And I was able to reach out to them. Like, they weren't judgmental or like they weren't belittling, and they knew that I was like good for the money because I always had like a good work ethic. I started working at the age of 13, working at the Boys and Girls Club, like being the scorekeeper or working at the snack bar, like earning those extra points, and like it was very little money, like doing the scoreboards for the roller hockey games or the scorekeeper and stuff. But it taught me that like, oh, if you do stuff, you can get money at a very early age. And so with that work ethic, like I was able to pay them back within the month after I had gotten that DUI. And because I had the DUI though, and I did plead guilty to it, I wasn't able to get a job.
Really?
Yeah, for a while. I was still at the time working at KFC, but before I had quit that job, obviously, like not quit, I was let go because I was just like missing too much work. At that point, like I was self-medicating with alcohol, and to the point where Kim, like pretty much my second mom, she mentioned that like I might be depressed and be self-medicating with alcohol, and had already suggested like maybe seeking a 12-step program because of just how like bad my drinking was. And
did you know you're an alcoholic at that point, you think?
Oh, hell no.
No, so still no. Okay.
No, like to be an alcoholic was like really bad in my family, like that whole stigma of like being the drunk person or like el borracho.
Yeah, loteria, right?
Yeah,
El borracho,
yeah. Grew up playing that game all the time. And so there was that whole stigma about like what an alcoholic was, and I wanted nothing to do with it because like, don't you know, like I like am still doing all these things that like I'm still functioning. And so I was able to kind of like place things back together. But once I got like that job and I got my second DUI, the second DUI was the reason why I lost the job, because I had missed a couple of days of work, and it's because I was in jail because it had been my second violation. That you do like a couple nights in there until you're finally arraigned, and I got it on Friday.
And so the weekend.
Yeah, the whole weekend, and the whole process of the booking and all that wasn't released until Monday, and I had missed like a couple days, and that was already, I think, like the third strike. And they had like nothing against me, but like it was just not working for them. And that second DUI, because I had to call my parents while I was in jail, like I actually got housed. They're like, oh, like you better figure it out. Like, we don't have money to like bail you out. Like, you're gonna have to figure it out. And I'm like, oh, please, like I can like help pay, like pleading on the phone, like that whole like trying to like get out as soon as possible. And it was intimidating being housed and stuff. I think because I was very naive and kind of like submissive, or I wasn't kind of like trying to like make an impression or anything in there. Like they were nice to me, and I let them know that I was there for a second DUI, and they're like, oh, you're just an alcoholic. And I was like, still like, no, like I'm not that. I just self-medicate a little bit, and I just need to like reel it back in. And when I finally got out, I had to like enroll into that, the drinking school to be able to get your driver's license back. And that was one of the mandatory things of attending, a DUI school along with, paying the restitution. And I had a little bit of money saved up, so I was able to enroll into the school, but I wasn't able to pay the restitution. And because I wasn't able to pay the restitution, and I was getting flagged for my background check because I had a DUI, like I wasn't even able to get hired at not Costco but Target. I wasn't even able to get like a grocery bag person or just like entry level, even janitory job there because of the DUI. And I was getting arrested over and over for warrants because I wasn't able to afford the restitution. And that in itself was traumatic experiences because it didn't happen like once or twice. It happened like a handful of times where there would be a knock on the door and it would be the police and instantly like, yeah, you have to come with us.
So you're getting arrested multiple times, and not because you're doing something stupid, but just because you owe money, so they're coming to you and they have to take you in.
Yeah, and it really sucked because like obviously the warrant would be issued that Friday, always on a Friday.
Right, so you already know it's gonna happen.
Yeah, and yeah, it was embarrassing. Like my neighbors would see me walk out and humiliating. And at that point, like I had some like sober time. Like I was dry for a long while. And then like I think around the third time after getting picked up on a warrant, like I was desensitized to it. Like it was whatever at this point. And like I got conditioned. Like I have like a thing now where I don't have what is it? Like I don't have an issue with privacy and all that. Like I don't mind like getting changed in the locker room with a bunch of women, like sharing a whole entire like tank with 40 other women. And then when you're there, like you don't even have privacy in the bathroom. Like all you get is a little chance of like male walking. And then you could be sitting on the toilet and there's a guy just watching you use the bathroom or like taking a shower. And it was just like, okay, it is what it is at this point. So my threshold of like being uncomfortable got really high just because like I had to kind of like figure it out and just like work through it. Like I can't be a baby in there. Like if they see me be like super cry and like soft, like you know what's gonna happen. They're gonna take advantage of you. And so I learned that very early on to not show weakness. And that I think also like helped me get through all that. And finally being able to get a job again and start making that restitution payment. Like finally I started making like a little wiggle room, and I was working at Sprouts. I was able to get a job there and working as a cash register. And there I was able to like get re-enrolled in that DUI class and pay all the late fees and everything. Like that thing is such a money scam. Like I paid over $7,000 and like the late fees and having to re-enroll and all that. By no means am I like a victim of that. That was just part of the consequences that I had. And I was able to like start making those payments on the restitution and stuff. But that wasn't like the last case that I got. I picked up a breaking and entering one. I don't even know when, but I know I had the job at Sprouts, and I went to a Halloween party with some friends from high school. And obviously like I got too wasted and everything, passed out on their couch. And when it was time to go, I hazily remember like not wanting to go. And I remember like in the middle of like coming in and out of consciousness of the blackout, I remember like breaking a window, cutting my finger, and then passing out on the couch. And then I come to a knock on the door, and I open the door, and then it's the sheriff police. And I end up getting like tackled to the ground, like 5 cops on top of me. Thank God I was still drunk from it, because that would have hurt. I didn't realize how bad it was until I was getting medically evaluated in jail. And they're like, what happened to you? Like, you look like you got pummeled. And I'm like, yeah, I got tackled down by cops. And they're like, were you resisting? It's like, no, I was just in the house that wasn't mine, or like I wasn't supposed to be in there. And like, oh, okay. And yeah, having that experience, I started getting a little bit more fearful of the police, just because of like the being taken for warrants, or like the a little bit more aggressive interactions, obviously of my own doing, because if I wasn't breaking the law, that would not have happened. But I started definitely having like a fear of the police, and getting like a little bit anxiety whenever I would see them driving by, or like all that kind of fidgety and all that. And even that time, like, it wasn't my last time getting.
So let me ask you that too. You know, you hear 2 DUIs, getting arrested because you can't afford the restitution over and over and over again, getting desensitized. Now you have to, like, right, I got to survive, so I'm just desensitized to this. And then you have this incident that happens, right? Get tackled by 5 cops, wake up. Why do you think, because some people might think one time will make you change. What do you think it was when you look back? Like, why weren't you stopping drinking yet after all that?
I think low key, I was like on a mission to like just like always escape from my circumstances, or like whatever I was feeling and going through. And I would always just say like, F it, and never pause to think of the consequences. And I had a very codependent mom, where like I was always allowed back home. And I think that that's probably one of the things. And I also would run away from home. Like, I knew I wouldn't be allowed to be drunk there, so I would run and live on the streets for like a couple days, and then come back and be like, oh, I'm sorry, and all that. And
do you what was I gonna say? Did you get to a point where you felt like, I would say, like, once you get to a point where you're okay with being in jail, it's kind of like a scary thing. Because now you're like, whatever, okay. Because worst case scenario, sometimes like, I go to jail.
Yeah.
But now I already know how it works. I do this, I do that, I get out. Were you getting so desensitized too, where you're kind of like, whatever. Like, I just do the system and get out.
Yeah, I just got to do the 3 days, wait until I get arraigned and all that. A couple times they did offer me like treatment, like rehab. The first, I believe it was the second DUI. No, the first DUI. I got like IOP. And I thought like, oh yeah, it's going to be my last DUI. I'm learning everything about addiction and all that. Like, I got this. Yeah. Knowledge was the problem. Yeah. Lack of knowledge. And no, I got the second one. And then that second one, because I had violated the first one, I got sent to Salvation Army.
Ooh, yeah. There you go.
And that place, like, yeah, talk about like another realization. And that's when I came to realize, when I was in Salvation Army and I had to like strip down and get all secondhand owned clothes. I don't think that they were washed. Hopefully they were. But yeah, like, you get stripped down, and then you're giving everything that's secondhand owned, socks, underwear, bra, shirt, pants, like everything. And you're made to work on a line, get stuff ready for their stores and stuff. And I remember like racking the clothes and stuff and all that. And then like coming to that realization that like my life is over. I'm an alcoholic. Like, realizing that I thought my life was over because I'm admitting that I'm an alcoholic and I'm never ever going to be able to drink again. Like, how am I able to have fun again?
I'm never going to fun again.
Yeah. Like, that was my like totally like just small thinking, like looking at it back now, like I just didn't know any other way of living and like getting through life, especially at a very early age, like finding that comfort and that relaxation that I would sometimes even just take a shot just to feel a little bit of less anxiety when stepping out. Definitely self-medicating at a very early age, that I build that coping habit with any discomfort that I would feel. And obviously, like in our family parties growing up, like it's very apparent we like to party, and it was easy all the time at the family parties to like sneak off.
Drink. You know, we got Tecate, you got Modelo, Corona, Patron, Don Julio. It's normal thing. Drink. Some people are doing some cocaine, maybe. Yeah. Playing the banda music and mariachi music till 3, 4, or 5 in the morning.
Dude, yeah. So we definitely know how to have a good time
Yeah.
and a long time.
So after that first one, you cut your finger, you get tackled, you get out. What age are you right there?
Right there, I think I'm 20, 22, 23.
So much has already happened
Yeah.
since then. And you didn't get sober till what age?
26.
So there's still 3 years more of happening. So after that time, you cut your finger, you get tackled, you get out. And these 3 years, what does those next 3 years look like?
Pure like hell of my own making. Like terrible. Like I got drugged one time where I was in a blackout. And we were talking about this earlier where I remember taking that drink from the gentleman in the complex that I grew up in. Thank God it was like in the complex. And that was like the last thing that I remember. And then vaguely coming to like I don't know what day it was, but I was like sleeping, passed out on a bed, and then next thing I know is I'm running for my life, not being able to put my full weight on my left foot, but I just remember being scared as hell and running, and I was running towards my parents' house, and I finally get there, and like instantly they're like shocked and like terrified, like where was I, blah blah blah. And I just remember like sitting there on the stairs and like my little sister crying and blacking out, and then coming to in the emergency room with the sheriff there in the middle of giving a testimony where I have no idea what I was saying. And I asked them like, what's going on? And they're like, okay, at this point, like she's not ready and not willing to talk. And I like had no idea what I was saying and remember saying anything to them. And I had a broken foot where I ended up needing surgery to get it fixed and a pin put in it. I had a busted chin, a busted lip, and a busted eye, and I was covered with bruises, like really bad bruises where I needed to be put on blood thinners for 3 days. So I was getting like a couple shots a day to make sure that none of the blood clots would travel to my lungs or heart or brain and stuff. And even then, that wasn't the last time. That was not the last time. And it's embarrassing because there was another incident where I was in a drunken haze and there was no alcohol in my parents' house. And I found, oh, this is embarrassing. I found like organic SPF, like aloe vera rubbing alcohol. And like thinking because it was a natural aloe vera, like concentrated whatever, I decided to drink it. And thank God my parents came home because they found me passed out on the couch, like with vomit there, and they take me to the emergency room, and I'm in and out of consciousness in the emergency room, and like remember signing my resuscitation waiver, like if I want to be resuscitated, please sign here, just like barely in and out. And like I remember coming to and my dad crying like over me. My cousins came from San Diego and LA to come see me. My sisters were there and my mom was there, and it got to the point where like my kidneys and liver were shutting down. Wow. And I was getting ready to get hooked up to dialysis. And yeah, that wasn't even my last drink. And the doctor, I remember him telling me when I finally came to and I was in the ICU and I was on a morphine drip, and they were like just watching my vitals and everything. They didn't understand like how I was able to make a recovery, not have any sustaining like damage done, because he said the most like minor side effect of somebody with the levels that I was at, how low they were, is partial blindness. And he didn't know how to explain how my levels were looking good, my kidney enzymes or liver enzymes, and my blood work was coming back like baffling to him. And he's like, I don't know how to explain it. Like to him it was like a scientific miracle, and I didn't know how to explain it either. But obviously looking back at it now, I genuinely think that like God was saving me from myself, because I honestly think that like drugs and alcohol at this time were like keeping me alive, because I was just looking for a way out, but I was too cowardly to like end it my own or like the suicidal way, and like having my parents like find me. And that would have been to me like worse, like seeing like seeing my dad's face and coming home to that, like, yeah, like, yeah. And I honestly think if it wasn't like for my dad, I probably would have, like, a long time ago. I'm like, my dad's like tomboy, and so like we have a really good relationship. And the final incident that got me sober, I was 26, and I had purchased 2 bottles of Everclear, like the Smirnoff, like 100 proof. Yeah. And yeah, I was not a pretty drunk. I was in a gutter drinking, trying to like hide from the police so then I wouldn't get drunk in public. And I remember finishing the 5th, and then I was like, oh shit, it's gonna rain. I want to like go to sleep. And so I was messaging friends, and then in that complex, like I know a couple people that like from the partying days, and they had invited me over to like crash at their place. And so I remember like getting up and walking, and then the next thing I know is like I'm being held by the hoodie, and like hearing the guy saying like, you're not going nowhere. And apparently by the time I get arraigned and told what happened is I broke into the wrong house. Somehow I have a thing about like breaking into people's houses. They didn't know how I got in. So that's where I think ended up being like a more serious case, because they thought I had help because of how seamless it looked. Like there was no damage to the doors or the windows or anything. I had, oh, this is embarrassing. I had soiled their bed, drank their alcohol, and passed out on their couch. And the homeowner came to and called the cops. And I don't even remember being like read my Miranda rights or anything. I just remember being held by the hoodie and told not to go nowhere. And then coming to in jail. And you know when you go to jail and you're at least given your paperwork? I didn't even have that. So I didn't even know like what I was there for. And that scared the bejesus out of me. And I remember being arraigned and being told that I was looking at 10 years with a felony strike for residential burglary. And I knew what a felony strike meant. And I knew that that is like a scar on your record, where it's like you just literally put yourself in a category of like any type of opportunities in life. You are now like cutting yourself from. And I had 2 options that day when I was arraigned, that if I wanted to go home, I would sign for it and get that felony strike, and then I would be on informal probation. Everything would run concurrent to that if I signed. Or I could fight it and figure it out, because even the public defender like saw, she's like, it looks like you just have a very bad drinking problem. Every single case that you've caught, you've been under the influence of blood alcohol level of 1.38 or higher. And so her recommendation was also to fight it. And obviously I didn't have the money to get an attorney or anything. It had to be a public defender. So I swallowed my pride and ego and admitted that I was going to do anything and everything to get out of it. And I remember standing in the cell with a tank full of women, standing there just like, what have I done? Like, I put myself here in this situation, and everything going white and like quiet, and like perfectly visioning an alcoholic death, where I'm going to be that homeless person. I'm going to die that miserable, slow death, like just from the last few years of my drinking. Like, I wouldn't die. Like, I would drink to oblivion, to the point where I would hope that I wouldn't wake up. And if I woke up, I was like, fuck.
Why do you feel like you were so unhappy with life at that point?
I think looking at my actions and like what I have accomplished so far with my life, and I just had like this unrealistic expectation that I had to get everything right in life, where I couldn't mess anything up. Like everything fell on like me, and like all these unrealistic expectations of what I needed to amount to, and like nothing that I ever did just within myself like wasn't good enough. And me having that sense of like not being good enough, and regardless of like the daughter or like in a relationship, just a human being able to function in society or a citizen, not having that self-love. I honestly think where like I know that I deserve better, maybe I should like start doing better. That whole concept like wouldn't like come from within. And I genuinely think that that little aha moment that I had in jail was like a gotcha, that little epiphany that we get, that eureka moment, because I could see like one path my way, like it's just miserable and dark, and then another path that was just like pure light. It was unknown, like just not of my own making. I just had to trust it. And the sense of peace that I got when I admitted that I needed help, and I was going to do like whatever I needed to do to not drink. It wasn't even to like get my life together, but I was going to do anything to get through life not drinking, whatever it was going to look like. I like never wanted to drink ever again. That was the only oath that I took in jail. And the amount of peace that I got from that, I wasn't fearful of like, well, fuck it, if I have to do the 10 years, I'm going to have to do the 10 years at that point. Or like, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm going to fight it. And like, you know how it is, like every single time you reschedule a court case, it's 2 weeks out.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 weeks turned into 4 weeks, turned into 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to talk to a few people that were like reoffenders there and have opted out to court programs in the past, talking about my mental health issues with them, they knew about certain opportunities or alternative court programs that would help with getting actual treatment. And if you're willing to like do the work, it's actually beneficial. Most people in there obviously just want to sign it so then they can get out and keep going about their lives, and are perpetuate like offenders. And I remember like talking to this one girl, and she's like, you're ready like to get sober. You just like got to find the right one. And the talk about like WIC court came up, where it was like last resort or more mental health based, came up. So I was able to tell my public defender about an alternative court program one of the times that I was being seen in a courtroom and stuff. And yeah, the whole time there, it was bad. The 3 months that I was there.
So you're in there for 3 months this time?
Yeah, it was bad. The fentanyl epidemic was bad. Like,
This is 2018 or no, 2000. What?
It's 2017 when I caught the case.
Okay.
By the time I was released out of jail, it was 2018. Yeah, because I think I got it like at the end of December, right before like New Year's and stuff. Because because I caught it February 18th of February 19th of 2018. That's my sobriety date. That's right. And then I got released in the summertime. And yeah, I got an ankle monitor and all that. And that fentanyl epidemic was crazy in there, getting searched all the time. And there was girls overdosing in arraignment and in an actual courtroom, to the point where they had like an investigation going on. It was like terrible how like it was just people were dropping like flies from it. And that in itself was a totally new experience, because yeah, like it was like we were getting tossed a lot and kind of just on high alert all the time because of how bad it was in there. And that kind of was a shocker in itself, because like I never had seen that before. I never seen like heroin or like people overdosing off like a substance like that. I just saw like people getting too drunk and too wasted. But to see actual people like pretty much ODing and needing to be like dragged out of the cell to be given CPR and Narcan and stuff, that was like surreal. and getting released with the core program. And I still am really good friends with my probation officer. I love her, and I love giving back to that core program and going back to alumni meetings and functions and stuff. And it's nice to see some of the people also like working the program and seeing them in the rooms and stuff, because it's like you can see which ones are going to make it, the ones that are willing to put in the work and admit that they need help. And kind of being able to share my story about that was and still is like helpful for me. Like me just donating my time to going there and participating does so much more for me than for them.
Yeah. So when you got out, did you go like straight to AA? Did you have to do a rehab outpatient? What'd you do?
I had to do AA. Okay. I had to do something different. And thank God for Tiffany and having the ankle monitor, because she could see that I was staying at home. And one of the things was my mom was very codependent, she just worried a lot about me for good reason.
Yeah.
But it was crippling at times, because then I wouldn't be able to go out. And she saw that I was staying at home all the time. And she straight up told my mom that if she doesn't like give me a little bit of space to like be able to go get a job and like do something different, she's going to court order her to therapy. And so like that really like, she was like, okay, fine. She kind of like let me go out and about, and I was able to go to the Canyon Club that same day that I was released from jail. And I had heard the story and like the happy, joyous, and free life there, the message. Like I wanted a piece of that, like how these people were living a way of life, like high on life, and like the genuine like authenticity of just being real and genuinely happy was appealing to me. How the program is about attraction rather than promotion. And I started working a very strong 12-step program, and by doing the work, I was able to get a job. I was able to get off the house arrest. I was able to do overnights, because it's part of the core program where if you have a diluted test, it's considered a dirty test. So I remember getting that first one and crying that they wanted me to start my my sobriety date over. And I didn't want to lose my sobriety date because I like earned it. And I remember speaking to my sponsor about it, and she was like, just tell them what your date is, but you know your date. It's just to do whatever they need of you to graduate, because it's not about like being right. It's about like how willing are you to surrender, and like you have to complete this program to like move on. And I remember it clicking, and I'm like, it is what it is. And I don't know where that saying came from of like, it is what it is. And I remember going to my probation officer and telling her, I'm like, what date do you want me to say is my new sobriety date? And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I want to like move forward and be able to qualify for the next phases. And like, what date would you like? And she's like, well, what is your sobriety day? And I told her mine. And she's like, are you sure that's your day? And I'm like, yeah. It's like, but I will change it happily. Like, what do you want it to be? And she's like, what does that mean? And I'm like, I don't know. So we were just going back and forth, and she was just trying to like feel me out. I look back at that now. She was just trying to see how like real I was, if I was like trying to lie, because she sees it all the time. Yeah. She's a probation officer. She sees the people trying to
personal.
work it. Yeah.
It's not personal. She's like, hey, it's my job. I deal with it.
Yeah. And so she was like, okay. And I'm like, that's it? She's like, yeah. Like, that's it. And I'm like, but what's the date? She's like, no, like, we'll just leave it. We'll see what happens. And I'm like, what does that mean? Now I'm overthinking. Oh my gosh. And
for you too, like when you went into the rooms that time, was that the first time you went into an AA meeting?
It was I believe it was like maybe the 5th or 4th time. The first time I went, I was at 19, and it was vague. Like it was just like, oh, like here we should go sit there. I was drunk, and like I vaguely remember just sitting in a room, and I do remember that it was the Saddleback Fellowship. Just way back when it was further down El Toro. And obviously going to it when I rolled in the DUI classes. and then you got to go to them to get your court card signed and all that. And then same when I had the IOP, like you do like outside stuff also to qualify for your IOP stuff, and never participated, just sat there, never identified as an alcoholic. And I remember the first time that I did, I bawled my eyes out. And that, I remember just, like thinking, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like one of you. Like, I'm a failure. But like, in reality, by no means am I a failure. And I'm very, very grateful that I was able to like hear
message. And so that time when you went in, were you just like, okay, what do I need to do? Get a sponsor, work the steps.
And I'm very grateful for that core program because it taught me to put my mental health first. Because I was diagnosed with depression at the age of 19 and was already prescribed medication for it. And there was that long history of the chronic relapsing, and then them seeing that I would get the medication but then not take it, or take it when I would drink. They saw that I needed like mental health help. And so I'm still on the medication that I'm on. I'm on Wellbutrin, and it works very well for me. And I've thought about coming off of it, but just with everything that's happened with my life and coming back from New York and finally getting like stable again, not being in like flight or fight mode, because I experienced dry sobriety, and emotional sobriety is a real thing. And so like I'm not looking to change that anytime soon, and I'm very grateful that I've like been able to like come to peace with that very early on in my recovery.
Did you get a lot of pushback? You know, some people in recovery, you have, again, people are people, but you'll have some people that say you can't be taking, you know, Suboxone and be in recovery.
Yeah.
Some people say, well, you can't be taking, you know, ADHD medication or depression. You'll hear that.
Yeah, I did. And I did hear it in the beginning. And I'm very grateful for the few that would pull me aside and let me know that it's okay to share about it. But there are people that are going to be a little bit pushy about it. And so they seek different meetings to kind of express that. Or if I'm feeling uncomfortable in the meeting, they'll recommend, like they were nice about it, like they also take it, but they don't say specifically for that reason, because they get a lot of pushback. And it's like you can refer to it as other ways, like outside issues or alternative things. It's like more of a respect thing, as I've been in the rooms now longer. At first, obviously, because like I'm so
everybody.
Yeah,
I'll do what I want. But yeah, you know, again, it's not personal. It's just, all right, this is your house, your rules. That's fine. I can still say what I need to say without having to say it. If I need to really say that thing, I can say it with someone in a conversation after a meeting.
And then I found that definitely more beneficial, the one-on-one and relating to somebody else and what they were going through and what's working for them. And I'm very grateful that I was like willing to take that constructive criticism rather than instantly like freaking out and like retaliating. Like I was just like so ready that like if somebody said something to me, I would go straight to my sponsor. I'm like, should I work on this or not? Like I know
you're just ready.
Like I was willing to just do what they said. And I didn't come to believe in something bigger than myself until like 3-4 years into my sobriety.
So let's talk about that. You know, I think a big thing with recovery, right? You always hear, right, step 2 and 3, God, the God word. Some of us, depending on our culture, depending on our upbringing, we can have church hurt. We can have a kind of a more toxic version of how we look at God or Jesus, whatever it is, right? There's a reason why for everything. How did you navigate those first couple years with having this struggle with the whole higher power thing? Because sometimes people think that maybe you can't be sober unless you believe from the first day or have it. Or some people say you don't need it to be sober, but then sometimes you hear stories like, yeah, but sooner or later that person does get to it. So how did you navigate the first couple years of not really having it, and why were you resistant towards it?
So I grew up Catholic, so I saw God as a punishing God, very, very punishing. And I was able to get through it because I visually saw it working in other people's lives, and I was willing to trust that in that sense, the physical result that it was happening for them, that maybe it could happen for me. I still had like huge resentments towards God. And it took me a while to like get over it, but like work the steps and figure out why. And I remember having the faith or the trust in like my sponsor and the fact that they believed. I'm like, well, fuck it, I might as well just try it their way and just give it up to that, or whatever they said. Like, do you trust that I believe that it's going to work for you? And I'm like, yeah, I trust that. And for a long time, it was that. Like, I would trust it just because they said and how it worked for them. Like, I would hear their stories, their circumstances, their situations, and it worked out. And, like, they were living proof of that. So, like, that in itself right there, the living proof part, was enough for me to, like, get over the God word, and trust that. And I was, again, very grateful that it wasn't being shoved down my throat about, like, oh, you have to, like, say God. Like, I was very, very, like, selective on the people that I hung out with. And then also the person that I, like, was mentoring me and, like, getting me kind of connected, like, told me to, like, speak to specific people that had time and stuff. And because they had time, I was, like, willing to trust that, because I honestly didn't really mess around with anybody that wasn't working a program how I was working the program, where it was like, it was my first thing in the morning. Like, I would do, like, not a prayer where I would get on my knees in the beginning, but I would, as soon as I woke up, like, I would do like a mental prayer, like lay in bed before even getting out, surrendering my will. Like, however the day goes, like, I'm just going to do the best that I can to not drink or use. That was the main goal of the whole day. Like, whatever happens, that's my one thing that I'm not going to do. Whatever happens after that, I just got to be able to do it to the best of my abilities. And then those were my two things that I would focus on throughout the day. And so learning how to, like, prioritize that thinking, and then obviously getting my head in the right space with a good morning meeting definitely set me up for success in the day. And I remember for like the first 6 months of after I got out of jail, going to a meeting every morning, sometimes going to 3 a day. I had to do community service. So I did community service at Saddleback Fellowship. I did community service at the Canyon Club. And I think I did community service at the library one time, just to get those hours and stuff. And, like, I spent a lot of time just, like, lounging around the rooms. And it allowed me to have people get to know me, because I'm not going to be the one to, like, open, like, people approached me, which was a whole other thing that was different, where I just had to, like, participate. They told me to, like, suit up and show up here. Like, I did it. I did a lot of volunteering in events for the club, fundraisers, or, like, the holiday dinners. Like, my first couple years of sobriety, I would do every single holiday thing at the Canyon Club, just because my household was still toxic, and learning healthy boundaries, to love people from a distance, so then I don't get hurt or set those unrealistic expectations and then start catching resentments towards my family members. I would spend the holidays volunteering and going to other people's houses and, like, checking in on them and stuff, and I never felt left out anymore. Ever felt left out. And that was huge for me, because for a long time, I always just wanted to be a part of something, like anything. That's, I feel like, one of the reasons why I was so attracted to alcohol, because everybody drank. And so, like, oh, you're drinking, I'm drinking.
Let's drink together.
Yeah. So, like, the whole social thing about it, and having now a commonality with everyday people anywhere that I go, like, I would see them in real life and just be like, oh, shit, like, they're doing it too. Like, we're everywhere. It's like, no shit.
Yeah, I think there's a beauty in that, right? I think a lot of us in addiction, we just want to belong. And what AA does really well is that type of thing. Like, hey, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna get coffee, we're gonna do a fundraiser, we're gonna do karaoke, we're gonna do this, And I always tell people the only secret if you want to be sober is you just got to show up. And that's what you're doing. Meetings every day, sometimes more than one meeting. I'm going to do my community service at the meetings, at these places. I'm going to every holiday thing.
Yeah.
It's really just that simple. And because it's nice when they're like, hey, you want to come with us?
Yeah.
It's so cool to have that, because some of us are shy, awkward, we're insecure, we got anxiety. So when somebody could see that, hey, what's your name? Come hang out with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want to do this with us, come with us. And it's so healing, and it's so amazing when we get to experience that.
Yeah. And honestly, if it wasn't for them being that like open and like welcoming, like I don't think it would have worked. Like I had the commitment for the Canyon Club, the greeter, for that whole time, because I was always there in the morning. Like I would get picked up, I would get dropped off there, so I was there early, and I would be the greeter, and then that was me, and people got to know me that way, because it's like, oh, you like introduce yourself and like welcome, and yeah, like little things like that like went a long way. Like people remembering my name, or remembering when I shared about something and checking in on me, like that was unheard of. Like having a family away from family, it became that for me, and I'm so grateful for that. And I also try to give that back when I'm at meetings. I'll like try to find the newcomer, or like the loner, the one that I've been seeing in a meeting, and like will like just sit by themselves and then just like leave right after and stuff. I'll like try to like find them, be like, yo, like I've seen you, like just sit by yourself over here, like come sit closer and all that, trying to make them feel welcome, because it does get a little discouraging when you hear sometimes the old timers like, oh, like chronic relapsers and all that. And that's where like my defiance with authority comes in, because I'm just like, who are you to judge? Like, weren't you the one saying all this, blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, look at yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I, for me, whether it comes to religion or AA, I get very defensive on that stuff, where you get someone trying to shove God down someone's throat, and religion, or, you know, AA, you get the old timers that are just, you know, you can't say that. I'm like, bro, this guy's 2 days sober. Who cares if he talked about drugs in an AA meeting? Like, dude, shut up. Oh, I hate that with their little mugs. That's my seat. And
I know that, dude, the whole seat thing, like, that's my spot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I didn't see your name on it.
Like,
but
Jesus.
yeah, and it's like, yeah, it's just funny. And I'm glad that I would, back in the day, like I had the privilege of knowing Mary Orsak, and like Mary, I forget, but Mary O, that's what she goes by. And she would always like put the old timers in check. I remember, like, if any of them like called out like a newcomer or anything, like she would just like be like putting them in their place, and like a sassy old lady like that. And I just really appreciated like the women in there, like not afraid to speak their mind, or like kind of be raw and vulnerable. Like in general, like the authenticity that I got to witness in the rooms like really showed me that like you can go through anything in life sober and get through the other side if you're willing to allow us to help you. That's the thing, like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink the water. And that was me for a long time, where like I would be led to these places, like led to rehabs and alternative like core programs, IOP, and like I would like drink it when it was convenient and then be like, oh, I don't need it no more, and all that. And a lot of it was just like my ego and not willing to admit that I needed help, because that to me was like a sense of defeat, like a form of weakness, like incompetence, like all like inferiority complex, just being less than because I couldn't figure it out on my own.
So let me ask you this too, like, because you know you just celebrated 8 years. And as you know, I mean, that's a good amount of time to have, because you go through the first year, the second year, the third year, the 5 years, our head comes out our ass, they say, right? You hear a pop, right? There's all these little things we talk about, right? And then sometimes they say, a lot of times people after 5 years fall off, because, you know, it really is like the high of the celebration start to kind of like die out. There's only so much we can learn consistently and hear in a meeting and read in a book and all that. Like, what do you have to do today to like maintain your sanity, to maintain your sobriety? And also, like, I always tell people, you got sobriety, you got recovery, but then you also got discovery. Also, it's like, well, what do you want to do with your life? Because you can be miserable in sobriety.
Oh yeah.
So like, what do you have to do today to maintain all those things?
I have to make sure that I don't procrastinate on my goals, because I know that my anxieties and my like lows and depression come directly of my own making, where I start putting things off that I say that I'm going to do, and not being consistent in that, whether it be with the gym or making sure that I stay on top of my nutrition. Like the little things like over time like stack up, and in itself it's like self-sabotaging. That's one thing that I'm like realizing about myself is I'll self-sabotage and co-sign my own bullshit just because it's a little inconvenient or I don't feel like doing it today. And that's like where I'm starting to realize that I just need to like put the work in even a little bit harder and be more of service. And being able to find my passion, like, and being able to train people. I was able to experience like actually leaving the nest and going to New York and then being financially out on my own and experiencing life on life's terms with a back pocket booklet of AA. Like, to me, like not taking the opportunity to New York, I would see it as like dying because like I have no excuse. I was doing anything and everything to make sure to stay in California, anything and everything. Like I had put my name for multiple commitments and leader opportunities for meetings like every single day of the week, and I had 3 job interviews and had 2 callbacks, and all within the 2 weeks of like when I had the deadline to give them the notice of like, hey, do you want to go to New York or not? I got none of those positions. So in itself right there where I'm taking my wool back, I was too scared to go because like, what am I going to do in New York? I don't know if I can do that. I was like, well, again, fuck it. Like at this point, like it's obviously apparent that I need to take this opportunity. Like I would be doing myself a disservice if I don't. Like everything was lining up where it would be beneficial. And so I took that opportunity that was presented to me through the rooms, and at the perfect time, because my life was also falling apart. At that time, I had been like dumped and kicked out of the apartment and had to move back in with my parents.
And what year was this?
2022.
And so how much time sober did you have at that point?
Like 4.5 years.
And I love that, right? Because people don't realize like things still happen in sobriety.
Oh yeah.
And the reality is now it's like, well, you can't drink over this.
Yeah.
You know, you can't lie. You know, we have all that inner thinking. It's like you gotta just feel it. You gotta process it. You gotta look at your part. You gotta forgive. You can't have resentments.
Dude, I held on to that one for a couple of years. It wasn't until just recently that I made an amends. Yeah. And I needed to make it, not for the other person, but like for myself, because like it would creep up at night, like those emotions, and like I realized my part in it. And like, of course, the actions of the other person were totally shitty and disrespectful and like uncalled for. But I also was painting a lot of those red flags green. I was trying to make it work, even though like I wasn't happy in it, because I'm stubborn and I'm not a quitter. Like I'm very stubborn, and like I don't want to be the quitter, and I don't want to, again, like I don't want to be the first one to give up. I'm always that opportunist, and I'm noticing that I fall in love with the potential of people, places, and things rather than for what they are.
Facts, yeah.
Yeah. And that's something that I came to realize in New York, because I took that opportunity out there and I did a lot of self-reflecting. I did do AA out there, but it was half-assed. I did definitely more virtual. And the in-persons out there are definitely more old school. And I did very little footwork into trying to venture out, trying to find the like right meetings that fit on me. And by the time I had found the ones that did work, which were more of like the NA and CA, just a more livelier bunch, more open. Like the old school AA out there, it's like you don't clap, you're not really that like, all the stuff. And I remember getting called out for like, we don't do California sober. And then I'm like over there like, what's California sober? They're like, you don't know what that is? Like, no, you're fine. And so like that's nice. Like I just like, I don't take things personally specifically in the rooms of AA, because like if you're not uncomfortable in a room of like AA, then you're not in a room of AA.
Bunch of sick people.
Yeah.
That was all,
Yeah. And so being willing to at least do that and get certified for personal training there. And I was able to find my first job as a instructor there, and it was at Retro Fitness, where I instantly got it right off the bat when I did my walk-in, just because I was physically fit already, and I let them know my background and stuff. That the hiring manager at the time saw me drop off my resume and stuff and asked when I could come in for a second interview with the manager. And that in itself right there, like a God shot moment, because I only had a certain amount of time after I had been there, apartment sitting and taking care of some cats that needed a little bit more medical attention, to like move out, find a place of my own. And I was able to find a room for rent, affordable, and I was able to find the job in time so then I could have the money saved up to be able to afford that room a couple months in advance. And like I remember laying there and I'm like, is this what they talk about? Like, you just do the work and shit just happens. And I remember laying there, and I remember very well. And I think that's already when I had traveled back and gotten my 5 years of sobriety. It was after that, laying there after I had gotten everything, and I'm like building that little routine of going to work and stuff. And like I had my little TV and my little bunk and all that. That I was like, damn, like, is this it? Like, not discontent, but just how things came off easy. And like things felt like they were meant to be like out there in New York.
Is this your first time working as a
personal trainer?
Really? So, okay, so that's the point. You weren't doing that before.
No.
Okay, so you're starting your personal trainer journey, about 5 years sober now. You saw how, like, for whatever reason, it was so easy, right? You're like, it's kind of weird. Kind of just fell into place. Now you're reflecting on it. Okay.
Yeah, and because I had started gym and exercising so early on, like adapting to that lifestyle of putting gym,
because that was for you, right? You were doing it for you at first for a while. Okay.
That incorporating it into my daily routine, it became just like if I need a shower every day, if I need to eat breakfast every day. And it definitely helps with my mental health
for sure.
It helps with my anxiety, especially if I get cardio in. Boy, do I notice that I have like restful sleep if I get my 45 minutes of cardio in throughout the day somewhere.
Yeah, I have a sauna in my living room.
Oh, dude.
Because it's one of those things for me, like to have, I fell in love with it. So now it's like every day, like right now I can put it on my phone, turn on.
Oh, heck
and it'll heat up. And so for me, it's sauna, cold plunge, vitamin C shower, jacuzzi, work. Like you're right. It's just my life because it keeps me leveled.
Yeah. And holistically, you don't need a drug. And that's what I also try to promote is like there's a holistic approach before medications or surgery is needed. That goes off like a whole other thing just because I feel like health in general in this country has been capitalized in pure profit. If it's not profitable, like they don't want it for you.
Yeah. What does somebody always complain about? Let's make a pill for that. That's just what it is.
Yeah. And rather than curing it, rather than just masking the symptom or fixing the symptom that's not the actual cause of it, there's no money in that. And that also is what made me unique in the training industry and how some of the people out there, because of it being more cultural and diverse, they have more of holistic approaches too, especially like in the Asian community and the Middle Eastern and even the Black community and Latinos. Like they prefer a more holistic approach to it than straight going to like medication or
it's a Western thing.
Yeah, definitely. And I was able to kind of be a little bit more knowledgeable about that, especially healing my body from all the damage that I had done with the drinking and the substances that I had put in my body, trying to like reverse some of the damage on my kidneys and liver with natural teas that have high antioxidants. And I lost a lot of my weight. I remember just cutting sugar, like sugary drinks out of my diet. That was one of the main things that helped me lose a lot of weight, and especially taking alcohol out. Like I could eat my calories now rather than drink them, and that's more satisfying now. And learning everything about nutrition, I was able to not just have clients who train in person, but more people that just needed a little bit more healthier nutrition and more guidance on like where to go. Like I would be the one where I would give them things to buy and like they would know what to get just because I had tried it or I let them try some of whatever I buy. And I'm always that type of person that I go on like adventures to go find like local groceries or farmers markets to see what's affordable and to see what is around in the sense of like whole more foods or like products that are higher integrity ingredient based rather than kind of just like all that processed stuff. And it's more affordable than we realize if we're willing to put the footwork into it and look for it.
Yeah, I always tell people, like, I know it's like, even like for me, it's like a simple trick. It's like Sam's Club. I'm like, yeah, I get mine from Sam's Club. Why? Because I can get 60 eggs for $10. People are like, you really? I'm like, yeah, you don't, Ralph's is like, $8 for 12. You didn't know it's the same egg.
Yeah.
Little techniques like that. Like, that's why you should do it. Certain meats. And like you said, certain healthy foods. Oh, it's always expensive. That's not always true.
If you go to a store that all they have is healthier food, their lower standard of healthy food is the high price of the stuff that they have over there. And that's their highest quality value. So if you start sourcing your stuff where the standard is higher for the quality of food, their lowest is affordable compared to their highest tier where it's like the non-GMO, organic, certified, all that stuff where it's like the more expensive stuff.
Yeah.
They still make sure that their lowest has more, like, I call it like ingredient integrity, and obviously being locally sourced and all that, and seasonal stuff. A lot of people don't realize that like produce is supposed to be seasonal, and sourcing it locally allows you to have lower price ranged fruits and vegetables.
And so you started working in the fitness industry in New York first, and then now, because I see you work out here too, right?
Yeah, I
so,
do.
So you started in New York, and then you bring it back here. So what was that when you moved back? You just found a job back here?
Yeah, I moved back last year summer.
How long were you gone for that time?
Like 2.5, 3 years.
Oh, so you're gone for a while.
Yeah,
oh, you're
I
in here
was.
for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It wasn't just like, okay.
No,
So
no,
you did
no.
New York for about 2 to 3 years. You come back then with 8 years sober around, right? And then you go straight to find a job out here?
Yeah. Definitely looked for in-person personal training and mostly looking to kind of run a gym, instructing it specifically, because I know that a lot of gym owners have busy lifestyles, and I'm very good at not managing, but like organizing like routines or knowing how to instruct and like manage a lot of people. Because some of the classes that I was managing over there in New York, I would perform the routine and then have it written somewhere, and then I would just go around watching them, and then it would all be timed and structured, like as many reps as possible for specific exercises, and helping them realize that it's not about the weight but the form and technique, and you don't need a lot of weight to be able to get the results. And then that's one of the things that people really appreciate, especially when they're there to work out, is not feel discouraged when they're first starting out and all this equipment's there and they don't know how to use it. And it's like, well, first all you need to do is just see if you even can get the muscle engagement without the weight and focus on the form. And it also makes it more personable, and you become more approachable as a trainer and instructor, and you can get more feedback also by the energy of the room and how everybody's like going through each station, like seeing where everyone's at. And
yeah, I always say when it comes to working with people in general, but let's say the fitness world, right? Because you're a personal trainer, I have a peptide company, and it's like the more you know, the safer somebody will feel with you. And if you care about them, they're going to care about you. But also it's like this idea of sometimes, not everybody, but sometimes we don't want to think as a client because we're so, whatever our lifestyle is, right?
Yeah.
So it's nice when it's just like, I trust you, you're good to me. Like, what do you recommend? And you've, and like you said, you've done the research, and so it's working because you care. And it's like, wow, I'm getting the results because I trust you and you're really helping me. And you know all these things. Like, that's not actually true. What they said, that's not true.
Yeah.
We can do it like this.
And being knowledgeable of alternative things, because a lot of people are hesitant to try new things, and then having that information available. I've noticed that people will want to pay more for like trusted things that they know that are working because they see it. Like, obviously, like physically they can, that's what I'm using and that's all I use, or eat or whatever it is. And when it comes to, like, I've had clients where they're surgeons or they run their own business or practice, and they need that information just knowledgeable, and they'll be like, just email it to me, like, how much do you charge? And it's just quick. And it's just having that information easily ready, available for them. And it's like, I dealt with a lot of normal people, especially like out there, it was all like regular people that I was dealing with. And so me being able to like kind of tell them about the nutrition stuff and like how maybe their drinking is counterintuitive, and especially how much they're drinking a day, and even like telling them to monitor that and add it into their journals, like dietary journals and all that, their Fitness Pals or whatever it is. And they start realizing it themselves that they're drinking a lot of carbs and a lot of sugars, and definitely under eating in protein. A lot of people don't realize that it's where they're getting their like food source from, and where the areas are like like little by little, as the days go by and the weeks add up, you can see where you're like deficient in, and that's where it counts, where it's what you're putting in rather than what you're putting out. And you can definitely, I don't diet. I don't believe in dieting. I believe in moderation. Everything in moderation is healthy. Like, because you can eat too much spinach and then you can make yourself sick and have iron poisoning from eating too much spinach, but you have to be eating like 2 pounds of spinach.
And that's why it's all like a science too, once you understand it. It's like simple. Like if you say, okay, let's just say, for example, 2,200 calories is what we're going to get. Remember, as simple as that, as long as you just get that, how you get that is, you know what I mean? Obviously, there's some unhealthier foods, but don't be too hard on yourself. And figure out what works. Like for me, I laugh because I have ADHD. So I go, if you open my fridge, I have Gold Whey protein shakes ready to go. You know, ones that are ready to go. Okay. And then I have soda water protein by Bucked Up. And then I have these smoothies by Harvest Smoothies, where it's already a pre-made smoothie of fresh fruit and protein scoop in my freezer. And then I have the Gold Whey powder. And someone's like, why do you have so many? Because sometimes I'm in a rush, so I down the one that's already made. And then I want a smoothie, but I'm too lazy to cut up the fruit. And then I have the soda water because I want a little fizz. But guess what? I'm getting protein. And then I have the scoops of protein. When I have time to actually make my own from scratch, I throw some protein in it.
And it's already there.
And I let them know, like, that's like a little technique for me, you know, to get my things in. Figure it out.
You make it easier, accessible to you in your lifestyle.
Exactly.
You set yourself up for success. And I 100% believe in taking a day out of the week to meal prep, or just making sure that you have your go-to snacks readily available. Like, put them in Ziploc baggies, have it ready to grab and go. And that's the thing. It's like, we live in such a hustle and bustle lifestyle, regardless of like where we're at in life. It's like you get up and go. Like a lot of people don't have that luxury of being able to like take the time and like pick everything out specifically of what they want all the time. And a lot of people like appreciate having that easily accessible, like, oh, that's what they use, I'll get it. And then you'll have like a post about how you like put it together and all that stuff. And there it is. Like, they appreciate that like you just give them like where they need to look, where they need to go. And obviously that makes it like very easable for you if you are either like a co-brander or you have sponsorships with anybody that you can like refer them. And there's so many referral programs out there that you can start making a lot of like little income, side incomes, that it adds up over time. And again, it's if you're willing to do the work. And luckily, I also kind of have that ADHD where I just like accumulate all this knowledge that if somebody asks the right questions, I'm just like, like saying
a plethora of all this information, stuff like that.
So when AI finally came out,
ChatGPT, I love you.
Like it finally helps organize everything in here. Like I struggle to put things into words because I just get so caught up. I start like tripping up. I write things backwards and all that, and I'll forget. Like I get so excited that I'll write like a whole entire page, whatever essay, and then I'll go back and read it, and I'm like, I'm missing like half the words here, but like I swear I like typed it out and all that. So like AI has been like such a huge help.
I tell people, like, I'm not gonna lie, my success now is because of ChatGPT. You don't understand how much it helps me organize, because it knows me, because I'm always talking to it. And it writes it out. I'm like, that sounds way better than I would have wrote it. Copy, paste, you know?
And especially with editing, like I'm illiterate. I am so like, it was a bad thing. Like, and honestly, I don't even know how, like, I learned how to read Spanish by like talking it.
Yeah.
Like reading it, I don't know where that came from. I think maybe from knowing like how the letters sound when you're reading it rather than how they usually sound in English. But then trying to like translate everything, like I honestly feel that sometimes my head will take knowledge in Spanish and then regurgitate it in English, so it's like deciphering it. And like that's maybe like where the what is it, the dyslexia comes from, of like trying to like decipher things. But the chat GBT and like any type of AI, the more the more comfortable you get to using the tools, they're legitimate tools. And if you see it as that rather as something as like replacing,
taking over the world.
No,
Yeah.
it's like it's a pure tool, just like how money's a tool.
Yeah.
Like it can help you succeed, and if you master it, like the possibilities are endless.
There's amazing things.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I made it write one of my essays in school one time just to see.
Yeah.
And I got an A. You know, I'm just saying. I'll be honest, and I was shocked. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's kind of amazing.
Yeah. And like, I mean, the way that it can do research and then give you like goal plans, like
Meal prep, goal plan, structured stuff. Oh my god.
I remember even like people ask me like, oh, aren't you worried about like AI like taking over some of your nutrition stuff? It's like, honestly, people don't have the time to learn it. That's what it is. It's like people don't have the time, and they have to pick and choose where they invest their time in. Yeah,
I think that's a big thing too. Like people don't realize, because again, you only know what you know, but there's so many different types of people in the world where you're right. Some of us don't have time. Not that we're lazy.
Nope.
A lot of us entrepreneurs and go-getters, whether you have kids, a loved one, multiple businesses, a very high-pressure job, you're right. It's like, hey, I don't got time anymore. So anything that makes something faster, I will pay whatever it costs to get that.
Yeah,
whatever.
Real quick.
What it is. Here you go. Just think for me. Make it for me. Cook it for me. Give it to me. Just tell me what to do.
Yeah. Like, I remember one time a dude just walked in the gym, and he's like, how much do you charge an hour? And I'm like, 100. He's like, cool. Do you have time right now? Right then and there. And I'm like, for what? Like, what do you need first? Like, I just need you to show me how to help me warm up to not get the tennis elbow. And a lot of it is forearm exercises and wrist stretching and like lightweight stuff. And he's like, that's it? It's like, yeah, like, okay, like, let me show you and all that. And he's like, okay, so like, how often do I have to do this? Every single time you're going to be doing anything with your arms if you don't want the tennis elbow to like flare up, because it's just underdeveloped ligaments and tendons that are not able to work properly because the weight load is too much, that it's putting pressure in your joints or on the tendons that are not fully developed, causing that pain. That's your body giving you a cue to slow it down and like focus more on form. Like, you're not supposed to hurt when you do something.
If you're hurting, stop.
Yeah. Right. Like, figure it out. Like, stretch. Like, and the way that I'm like, the size that I have right now, I'm doing a third of the weight that I was doing 2 years ago. And I'm getting more results than I am now, just time under tension. And I love,
that's like the perfect client right there. How much? Okay, I'm gonna start right now. Like, I want, how you're like, I need more of you.
Yeah.
That was easy.
For real.
Give me that.
And again, it's just being readily available and having that knowledge. And because of I'm self-taught and I like to like fix my body, I've learned like a lot of physical therapy goes a long way. So like I've been really into sports medicine as of late, and like band work, I swear by bands. Like just the time under tension and really warming up and getting like blood flow to your joints and stuff helps so much.
And a big thing too about you, and it's not me being judgmental, it's just truth. It's like, if you look the part, I'm gonna trust you. It's very strange if someone does not look the part that they're trying to help you with. It's like, how are you gonna help me when you can't even help yourself? You know, because that's a big thing. People, it's like food. The first thing is what? I look at how it looks, and then I'm ready to eat it. Yeah. And hopefully it tastes good too when I eat it. Yep. Right? You visually, I trust you because you look how I want to look. Like you said in the rooms, you guys have what I want, so I'll believe in what you believe in then. Yeah. I don't really get it, but I believe you. Yeah. It's the same thing when it comes to health and wellness, is make sure you look the part. Yeah. I mean, like, come on. Like, you know, like if you're going to be preaching about it, be about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's even a double-edged sword sometimes, because I remember in Brooklyn, I lost a few clients because my appearance looked intimidating. They're like, oh, like she doesn't know what it's like to be overweight and all that. And I'm like, little do you know, I used to be 200 pounds. And then they're like, oh, really? It's like, yeah. And like that, okay, like right there, I was able to like change it into
and that's
a client.
good. And that's good because now you probably know, like, I better share this up front.
Yeah.
Hey, so let you know first, I used to be 200 pounds.
I started doing that because of my image. Like I looked too fit to have known the struggle of what it's like to be overweight and then like not being able to wear like certain clothes, or even being self-conscious of like when you do lose the weight and then like having that loose skin and
all that comes with it. You know all these different aspects to kind of help people through a journey of overweight, loose skin. If you have a drinking problem, you got mental health issues, like, hey, let me know what you need. I got a life resume of problems.
That I can like help guide you, or like I can point you to the way, like maybe getting some like mental health services, like therapy. I swear by therapy. Like a lot of people don't realize that you don't need to like go to therapy to get psych meds, but you need to go to therapy to like help with yourself. And like a lot of just self-development.
Well, think about it, and this is the reality, right? A therapist's job really is you're paying somebody to make that moment about you. Most people don't know how to do that or don't have the time for it. So some of us are not blessed with good people around us for that, and it's fine. A therapist is literally there for you. So go in there and share what's on your mind, share every problem, share everything you got going on, because they're there to help you. And it's so healing by someone just listening.
Oh, yeah.
Listening is the best medication, I think.
Yeah. Some people just don't know how to be heard.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that I was like surprised at, or people told me that they were surprised at, is like how I was very easily able to defuse situations in New York, especially with dealing with disgruntled members in the gym and stuff. A lot of them is just like they're already expecting you to retaliate or to like give them some sort of problem. But if you just listen to them, like instantly, like I could see their body language just like
change,
like relax and stuff. And they're like, how do you do that? And I'm like, some people just want to be like listened.
That's it.
And heard. And then
it's not personal.
Yeah, it's not personal. Like not everything is an attack. A lot of the time it's them, not you, and like being able to like recognize that very early on and approach situations in life of looking to better the situation or like to be of service rather than trying to control or take something from it. It like life goes a lot easier, way easier.
Amen to that. Well, hey, before we get to the end, I just want to say again, thank you for being here. And I do want to bring you back on for another one because I really want to talk about health and wellness in depth, right? I think we can get real deep with that because it is important for people. And at the end of this podcast, we do speed questions. You answer them about 1 minute.
Yeah.
And we ask everybody what are 3 books that you would recommend to somebody to read that could completely change their life?
So, The Peaceful Warrior. The Celestial Prophet.
Oh, I love that book. I love that book.
And this one, I forget what it's called, but it has to do with like dealing with catching resentments with people real early and like learning how to communicate. And it's got like 4 different like parts on the front cover. I don't know the name of it, but somebody gave it to me to read about how to emotionally like regulate and pause before like speaking your mind or becoming frustrated with something.
That's good.
But I'll come back to that one. And then another book that changed my life forever. I think that third one's besides that one that I mentioned. Let's see. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm blanking. I'm on the spot.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. Yeah. I love the Celestial Prophecy book. It's such a good spiritual read with the whole spiritual truths and all that. What was one mindset shift that completely changed your life?
Mine. Oh, that I have absolutely no control over people, places, and things. Like I'm not the director. That's it. And like as soon as I realized that I don't have to have control, and like releasing that, like I don't have to like own other people's shit.
It's so healing and
Like,
freeing.
yeah. Like,
it's like who cares?
Yeah.
Why? You can't, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Why? Cut them out.
Yeah.
What? But they shouldn't. No, they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nope, they can't.
No. And I struggle with complainers or people that like.
Right.
That,
right when you hear it come up.
Again, same thing, different day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm all about getting into action. What are you going to do about it? Like.
Those sponsees.
Yeah.
I talk to them sometimes and they, it's like here we go again.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this is on you. I know it is. Yeah. And watch, you're probably not going to go to a meeting. You're probably not going to go to therapy. You're probably going to jump into another relationship, but whatever.
Yeah. Dude, I'm learning that now, like being single right now, like sitting with myself and stuff. Yeah. I had an issue like jumping from relationship to
serial
relationship.
dater. What are you escaping?
Yeah.
Right?
So yeah.
Oh no.
Fucking realizing that like realizing that I don't think I'm lovable or like not worthy enough. So like I gotta have someone. Codependency.
That's what it is. You're codependent.
Yeah.
Mom is codependency. You're codependent. You don't want love. You need love. Why? Because if you need love and mask the issue that you're unlovable, it's like again, it's like taking a pill to mask it.
Yep.
But when you're single, then it's like, see, you are unlovable, but it's just your head messing with you.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, chill.
It is.
Learn to love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then guess what? You're gonna choose way better.
Yeah.
Because you'll have boundaries that are so strict where you'll be like, this red flag is red and I'm not painting it green.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Because guess what? There'll be somebody else. Why? Because I am lovable. So I don't need to settle for less.
100%.
Have you ever read Codependent No More?
I think so. It's what is it? A big gigantic workbook, right?
There's a workbook for it too, but it's also just like the book, like an AA style book, right?
Yeah.
It's like the codependency, their AA book style. It's by Melody Belittle.
Yes. I actually have the workbook one, and I was listening to the audio version of the first part.
That's good.
It helped me be very self-aware of how I receive love and then give love, but also how my behavior or maybe my perception of the other person is not more of like not attacking, but just resistant to what I'm saying, like trying to fight all the time, or like not hearing what they're saying because like they're not acknowledging what I want to say first and all that stuff. So being very self-aware of my character defects and then my self-regulating my emotions when going into something and trying to like seek to understand rather than just to like get my point across.
That's why there's that one reel that went viral, and it was probably somebody, I don't know if he was homeless still or he got out of rehab, and he's like, my sponsor taught me something that if I live life to understand others and not be understood, then life will be perfect. Because if we all live like that, then you'll always be understood by somebody. Right? And again, removes that control. Like, you need to understand me.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm just here understanding you. And that's why you always hope that the people you surround yourself with, because we get to choose who we surround ourselves with. Surround yourself with givers.
100%.
And if you want that, you can't change a taker to be a giver.
Yeah.
So be aware of it. I know they're a taker. It's not personal. I just don't want to be around you.
100%.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing that now I'm at 34 and setting those healthy boundaries. Like, I'm a people pleaser. And I've been really starting to realize that the relationships that I have doesn't mean with the person, like, I need to spend all my time with them or, like, give them the attention that they need on their time all the time, where then it feels one-sided. And setting those healthy boundaries and communicating way better rather than trying to be passive-aggressive, because I just had to set a healthy boundary with someone. And I'm realizing that I like to have the last word. And, like, my ego gets into the play. And so then I'm just like, why am I fighting to, like, keep this relationship over and over? And I'm like, oh, it's because I just want to have the last word in it. And so I'm the antagonizer wanting to, like, get that validation and trying to, like, keep it going and all that. And it's very counterintuitive. And, like, it messed up my peace one day. Yeah. And I was just like, I'm so glad that he blocked me. I'm so glad.
God did for you what you couldn't do for yourself.
100%. And I'm starting to realize that he does that for me a lot. And then as soon as I come to that realization, I'm like, thank you. Moving on.
Yeah.
Like, I need it. Like, he always does for me what I can't do for myself, especially with that relationship where, like, I got dumped and kicked out of the apartment. He was doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. Like, like saving me from myself. Because, again, like, you can't make a taker be a giver, no matter how much you want it to, like, change.
And I know that because I had 3 years sober and I had a failed relationship, lost my apartment, lost my cat, and I was sleeping in a church. And a church that we house people off the streets. I went there because I don't want to be alone. And I have people running around on heroin and speed, and it's raining, and there's no hot water. And I'm laying on this little cot, laying down, and I'm like crying, God, what? I got 3 years sober. I thought this was done. God goes, remember you wanted to save more money? I'm like, yeah, I remember that. He goes, now you don't have rent. Oh, you mother effer.
Yeah.
Right, it's a moment up. And then, down the road, I understand why it had to happen, right? You see all the dots. I'm like, okay, God. So, yeah, God will do for us what we can't do for ourselves, so we can learn the lesson. But we got to remember, a lesson not learned is repeated. So we got to be very aware of, like, hey, it can happen again if you don't learn. So make sure. What was the worst piece of advice someone's ever given you?
Ooh. Oh, God. Keeping my options open, like, in the sense of not playing other people, but, like, giving people mixed messages in that sense, kind of being more manipulative.
And is this like in all types of relationships, or mainly romantic? Or
romantic?
Okay.
Like, keeping it open, like playing the field and, like,
have your roster.
Yeah. And I'm just like, this is a lot of work. And now I was getting shit for it. And I'm like, bro, you gave me this advice. And now you're upset that I'm, like, taking your advice. And I'm like, you're a hypocrite. And now I'm like, okay, lesson learned. Like, literally take advice from people that, like, have something that you want. Yeah. It's
kind of like the fastest way to get over someone is get under someone.
Yeah.
You're like, no, actually, it's not why. You're just gonna put on pause and have to deal with it later.
100%.
My last question for you is: you have 1 minute with a woman who is feeling the same way that you felt when you were at that rock bottom moment, and you got locked up that last time, right? Just defeated, hopeless. And you have 1 minute with her, and she's like, Jackie, that's cool, but, like, my addiction's different. My pain is different than yours. There's no way I can get sober. What would you want to tell her?
Ooh. It's like, little do we know that at the time that we're feeling something, it's just a feeling, and time changes everything. Regardless of the circumstances or situation, like, pausing long enough for, like, everything to just, like, calm a bit, and then realizing, like, what's really happening and what's really going on, like, that's where, like, the little change can happen if we're willing to self-reflect. And it's not about, again, like, trying to isolate ourselves and disconnect from others, making us more unique than someone else. It's more of, like, we're all the same, and we've dealt with it, like, regardless of the substance or what you're going through. We've all felt that pitiful and incomprehensible demoralization or hopelessness. That hopelessness is so crippling that we will, like, imprison ourselves in our own heads. Even in good places in our lives, we can make our own prison within our own perception of what's going on around us, because we are feeling it so intensely. And with us addicts and people with super sensitive emotions, we feel things a little bit more differently, and they can be intensified a lot, especially when we're new, because we have been numbing out for so long that, like, feeling it is almost worse than death at that point. That's why we will go, like, pick up and use. And it's like, if we can pause long enough to let those feelings subside and breathe through it, like, and reach out, like, exactly how you and I are talking right now, like, things get better. Like, you can share that load with me if you want. Like, we're here to, like, just help one another one day at a time. Like, don't worry about the future. The past is in the past. It's more about right now and, like, how we can get through this moment. And obviously, like, go from there in that sense, and try to reassure them that it's like, this too shall pass. that was one of the things that helped me very early on. It's like, this feeling is not forever. It's just for right now. And like making it the next minute, making it the next 5 minutes, and then letting your feet do the footwork to get you to where you need to be. Be around supportive people, encouraging people, and meetings. Like, I'm very grateful that my feet knew what to do. Like, even just recently where I was having a hard time with my mom, and like I desperately want that mother-daughter relationship where it's almost like, oh my God, hey, like, yeah. And I'm starting to realize that like maybe I'm there to be like the love that she never received from her mom, rather than the other way around.
Yeah, that's heavy.
And the sense of like, that has to be something bigger than myself. Like, me to be that selfless after everything that like we've been through, it's just like, that was God doing for me what I couldn't do for myself, was find that compassion and that empathy and that grace. Because like, my mom gave us a better life than what she had. So I can only imagine what she went through growing up. And so like being able to do that for someone else, like especially a stranger, like maybe they just need to be loved in the way that they couldn't be loved growing up, being heard the way that they weren't able to be heard growing up, and coming with that level of understanding and willingness to like be patient with them and let them talk and just hear them. I feel like a lot of the times that gets through most people in hard situations, where it's just taking the time to just listen and like allowing that time to pass because they're not holding it in, and like we're obsessing over it, because that's something that we do so well, is we will overthink, and we can think our way out of good things. That's from my personal experience. I can think my way out of good things, and I'm repeating the same mistake over and over. Even in sobriety, I'm a stubborn person, and I will think my way into a bad situation thinking a better outcome. And yeah.
I love that. And then where can people reach you if they want to contact you or they want to train with you?
Oh, so on my Instagram account, Muscle Jar 321.
There you go.
I have my link tree where you can book appointments, reach out to me via email. And also my TikTok account, got Jack. Yeah. I'm easily accessible there. I do in person or at home. If you even have a apartment gym where it's like community based, like I go to you. That makes it so much easier, because I know like life can get busy and stuff. And so I'm like portable. Like, you can get fit with Jackie anywhere. Yeah.
I love that. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your time, your wisdom, your hope, and just thank you for, fighting that hard battle that you had to fight through, 8 years ago, and the battle that you fight every day to be able to keep what you have and to continue to grow and to learn more, even when life throws hardships at you. Because, it's not easy. I always say recovery is not easy, because recovery is, I'm going on a diet that I can never break. Because breaking that diet means possible death.
I'm that worst type of person where it's like, it's not like if, like it's like I'm playing Russian roulette. Like, it's a very likely possibility, because I don't stop, I get stopped.
I like that. That's a good stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. So just thank you for being here, and thank you for being you.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity and privilege to be a part of something bigger than me.